After a mastectomy, many women choose to have breast reconstruction surgery. But for a growing number of women, having no reconstruction, also called going flat or asymmetrical, is the preferred path. It's a very personal and often scary decision, but one that has high rates of satisfaction. So here to discuss is Dr. Majola Omole, a surgical oncologist in Toronto, Sara Coulson, a breast cancer survivor, and Nicola Magnolia, a tattoo artist who works with cancer survivors. So I'm going to start with Dr. Omole. It's been a while since I've seen you. We've all heard, it is so good to see you. Now, we've all heard of breast cancer, but what is it and how does it affect the body? And can you tell us a little about the treatment options that are available?
So breast cancer is cancer of, so there's two parts of the breast. There is the ducts, which carry milk, and then the lobules, which produce milk. So you can have breast cancer in those two parts of the breast, and those are the most common types of breast cancer. And breast cancer affects anyone who has breast, regardless of your gender. And what we know about it is that breast cancer can spread to different parts of the body. Treatments are really good in Canada for breast cancer, and so we know that 88% of women who are diagnosed with breast cancer in 5 years' time will still be alive, and so that's very good statistics. That's come a long way from before. We also know that 1 in 8 Canadian women will be diagnosed with breast cancer every year, and the majority of those women do really well with the treatments that are available.
Okay, good information. Sara, I want to talk to you a little bit about your breast cancer journey. When did you realize something was wrong?
Back in May of 1999, I was doing a catering function at the Coburg Yacht Club for the Inner Wheel, and they were having a seminar on breast cancer. So as I was clearing the tables, obviously I'm listening to the guest speaker and the importance on early detection and self-examination. That evening, I went home, I did a self-examination, and lo and behold, I actually found a lump. So after several mammograms, ultrasounds, biopsies, they confirmed that yes, indeed, I had breast cancer. So we made a decision to do a lumpectomy.
I want to go to Dr. Omole, back to Dr. Omole for a sec, just to talk about the fact that young women and men may not be concerned about breast cancer because of their age. Can you talk to us about risk factors in younger people when it comes to breast cancer?
So breast cancer is not very common in the younger population. The majority of women who will be diagnosed with breast cancer or men are usually over the age of 60. That said, we are starting to see more and more younger people with diagnosis of breast cancer, and part of that is just due to awareness and also having good screening. In terms of risk factors, there's two types: the things we can control and the things that we can't control. The things that we can't control are your genetics, and having a gene that makes you more likely to have breast cancer, or having a family history of it. Those are the things we can't control. Those probably play a larger part in the younger people having breast cancer. The things that we can't control, such as smoking, excess weight, heavy drinking, those, and taking hormone replacement therapy for when women are transitioning into menopause, those are the things that we can control and probably have some effect, but not the majority effect of a younger diagnosis for breast cancer.
Okay, that is very good information. So back to Sara now. After you were diagnosed at 33 with breast cancer, your cancer actually came back. Can you tell us about that?
Flash forward 18 years, March of 2017, I found what I thought was a pimple or something on the outside of my breast. After some poking and prodding, it became sore and started to grow on me. Decided that maybe it was a boil and that I should go to the walk-in clinic. So went to the walk-in clinic and they decided that maybe I should go to Emerge. So I went to the hospital, where they decided that they should do an ultrasound. That ultrasound confirmed that, yes, indeed, the cancer was back. My whole world just kind of crumbled. Met with my surgeon, and we decided that we should do a bilateral mastectomy, even though the cancer was in the left breast, which is really a double mastectomy, so both were going. I was just like, I just don't want to take the chance of the cancer recurring again.
Okay, so this is when you're at that crossroads and you have to make some really tough decisions. And I talked a little bit about reconstruction off of the top of this segment. Over to Dr. Amole now. I want to talk about this idea of when people choose to go flat. What are the factors that go into deciding between what you want to do and what your options are at this point in your cancer journey?
So the first thing is whether or not your cancer is amenable to the two types of surgery. So that is a mastectomy and plus or minus reconstruction. So if reconstruction or going flat, or having a lumpectomy. So the stage of your cancer determines a lot of that. So patients who decide, and so really a lot of this is driven by what you want. And more you're having people decide that they want to go flat and opt for not reconstruction.
So Sara, you decided not to have reconstruction after your double mastectomy. Tell me how you came to that choice.
I really anguished over the decision on what to make. So I met with the counselor that's provided for patients at the Northumberland Hills Hospital in Coburg. And we made a list of pros and cons. And quite honestly, the cons outweighed the pros to having reconstructive surgery done. Primarily, my decision was based on not having reconstructive surgery because I just wanted to heal, not only mentally, physically, but emotionally. I just wanted to get on with my life and live it to the fullest.
And you have, and you got a tattoo.
I have.
Right? That was
did.
your choice. So tell me a little bit about the design you chose for that.
I had seen some pictures on Pinterest with tattoo mastectomy cover-ups, and I thought, wow, what a great idea to sort of express myself. There was something beautiful there before, and let's replace it with something beautiful. So I've known Nicola for a while and knew that she was moving back from Vancouver, so I reached out to her and asked her if she'd be interested in doing the tattoo cover-up. Of course, she was all about doing it. All of a sudden, it just kind of dawned on me that 3 roses were given to me by my husband the first time that he told me that he loved me. From that moment on, whether it's been birthdays, anniversary, birth of our children, there's always 3 roses in whatever flowers he gave me. So we went with that. That was the connection I needed. And once I made that connection, I cried. But it's not just a connection to the tattoo. You have to have that connection with the tattoo artist, which I did. If anybody is going to have a tattoo cover up over their mastectomy, do your research, meet the tattoo artist, make that connection. That's the only advice I could give if somebody is going to do.
She is here with us now. Nicola is with us right now. And Nicola, I want to talk to you about how long you've been working with cancer survivors.
It's been quite a few years now. I started working with cancer survivors and doing cover-ups for over top of scars for, I think it's been 5 years now. Sara had approached me, and like she said, I knew her previously. And I just felt really honored to be able to be part of her healing process and to do this tattoo for her. And it's my favorite part of it is seeing the reveal. It was such a great experience that we shared together. And like she said, you have to be so vulnerable in these situations. So I think we really bonded together over this experience.
I'm so happy that Sara had you in her life. And I'm going to end this on Sara. Sara, I want to talk to you about your relationship with your breasts. Like so many of us go through all of these changes when it comes to how we feel about our breasts. So how do you feel about where you're at now? And has that changed from where you were at with your breasts when you first got your cancer diagnosis?
When I first got diagnosed with cancer, they became a worry. When it came back the second time, it became an enemy. And I just knew that I wanted to be around for as long as possible. Now, my husband still thinks I'm sexy. He tells me every day that I'm beautiful. And breasts really don't define who we are as women. Going flat was the best decision that I ever made for myself. I still wear the sexy clothes. I still feel body confident. And don't have to ever wear a strapless bra again. But it's just a wonderful feeling just to not have to worry about anything now. I had an appointment with my oncologist little did I know it would be the last time that I would see her. She discharged me out of her care as she feels that there will not be any recurrence, that there's been enough time that has passed by. And for the second time, I won the battle.
Yes. Okay, that's how I got to end this segment. Sara, that's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for being so candid. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Amole. Thank you, Sara. Thank you, Nicola. You've all been fantastic.